I've avoided making this video for a couple of days now. You guys might say I'm late to the game. I'll explain to you why, but we're George Floyd, guys. We were jumping into it today. It's kind of like the elephant in the room, right? At this point, it's got to be talked about, but I do want to address it so we can kind of move on from it. I don't want to cheapen what happened, and I'm going to explain my stance. We're about to dive into that. We're doing it now. Guys, my name is Jared. This is RedRacer Video. I'm a car guy who turned into a local, or not local, but late-breaking news guy. I'm fascinated now with world news, politics, call it what you want to call it, stuff that affects my kids, stuff that affects I love my kids, and I know I've got to leave them a better world, and that has become very apparent recently. That's why I do what I do. Here we go, guys. If anybody knows me on here, if you guys have been around for a while, you guys know that I call balls and strikes. It's just how I roll. So I'm going to try to address things. I'm going to address some other angles of things that I don't think are as important. But again, I am going to call balls and strikes. To anybody that gets offended or gets triggered by this, I'm not going to apologize for this. I feel like you're choosing to take it that way if you take it that way. But here we go. Here's what happened. What do we know happened? What do we maybe not know that happened? In short, and this is just paraphrasing, I'm not judging at all what happened yet. This is just me trying to kind of tell the story. What I think the majority of people at this point know is that this gentleman was on the ground with an officer behind him. He's laying next to a police car. He's clearly subdued. He's up against the police car. He's up against the ground because he's smashed onto the ground. The officer is on his neck, holding him down. The guy throughout the video, and it's a long video. I did watch the whole thing. I watched it one time, and I haven't watched it since then, and I won't show any clips of it now. I put it on my Instagram page, at RedRacer Video, if you guys don't follow me, and then I took it down. But I now have decided, again, I'm going to talk about it. But went on for about 6 minutes, this guy on the ground with this officer on his neck. Going back to the calling balls and strikes thing, I owe it to you guys to tell you something about myself. I tend to side with officers by default, typically. And I'm going to explain to you why. It is my view that police officers are quite literally our real heroes in this country, largely in part. I know there are bad ones. I understand that. But I believe that 99% of them are very solid people, men and women, that give selflessly every day. Many of them leave husbands, wives, and children to go and protect us each day, not knowing each and every day whether or not they'll come home to those kids again that day. I cannot even imagine what that would be like or what that would feel like. And in all that's gone on and everything that's happening in our world, and you guys, if you watch my videos, you understand what I'm saying right now. With everything that's going on, I have had to do a lot of those thoughts. I've had to do a lot of that thinking. I have considered, what if? You know, what if things happen? What if things got crazy? What if I wasn't around? What did my kids do without me? And it's really, you know, I feel like I'm getting to be that old bitter man a little bit, but I truly think about things that I never would have imagined me considering at this age. By default, I side with officers because I believe those people do something incredibly selfless, and they provide a service that gives us the ability to live the lives we lead, largely in part. I've been in fights with some of my old neighbors in my old neighborhoods. Looking back, it's because he was a flipping quack, and it's totally fine. I'm glad I stood my ground. But for a long time, I thought maybe I'm an a-hole. Like maybe I'm a jerk. Maybe I was wrong there. And it was in another instance where a gentleman was struggling with police officers and reaching for their weapons, and they ended up shooting him. And my neighbor was saying that they never should have shot the guy. And I argued, at what point? Like, do you wait till he gets a hold of the gun, points it at you, and pulls the trigger, and then I mean, when is it okay? So we were on opposite sides of that argument. I, again, tended to side with the officers because that's what I typically do. I do know some police officers, some friends that are officers, new and some that have been for longer. And I honor what they do. All of that being said, and then again, this is just my opinion, having watched what I saw, there was a police officer who murdered a gentleman. George Floyd, sorry, glad I looked down, was murdered. I know there's some footage before what happened where there was some light resistance, it sounds like. credit to Dan Bongino for giving me the courage to make this video real quick. Some of these points are points I stole straight from his show. So guys, in the comments down below or in the description down below, I always link Dan Bongino's show for a very good reason. He thinks very logically. He has been an officer. He's investigated. He's done a lot, and he speaks from experience. And he gave me the courage to talk about this because I was not going to. And seeing that he thought it should be addressed made me feel like it should be addressed. And he brought something up about there being some light resistance maybe before he got out of his car. You know, that we don't know in many cases as what the police officers deal with. We get the video of the person already standing there watching what's happening, and they're screaming at cops saying you guys are jerks or whatever, right? So that's why a lot of cases I tend to side with police officers, because a lot of times I think all the substance gets left out, and we're only left with just what happened at the end, and then it's really easy for us to, you know, hindsight is 20/20, and we then judge what he did, not having been in his position or her position, and having known what happened before then, how scared for their life they were, how necessary was the action they took. We just see the action and we get to be the judge, jury, and executioner on a 5-minute clip. That's how it usually plays out. And again, that's why I usually take their side. Dan made a very good point. At the point that this guy's on the ground in handcuffs, this fight is over. It's done. Dan also points out that maybe the guy gets back up. The guys have in cuffs before, started kicking, spitting, biting, whatever. That's not what we're talking about here. In this video, it's very clear this officer had all of his weight, all of it, on one leg, on one knee, very much on top of this guy. And he made the guy die. The guy literally just suffocated and died all the while. And I'm not trying to make this gory, but all the while the guy is saying, I can't breathe. My neck hurts. My stomach hurts. My whole body hurts. You're killing me. Please just let me breathe. I can't breathe. The exact scenario we do not need getting blasted through our airwaves right now in this country. Would you agree? That's the last thing we need. I'm going to now touch on something that I haven't yet touched on. And all of you probably know this already. I left it out very intentionally to this point. The officer was a white man. The gentleman that was killed was a black man. And for that reason, this is going to get insane amounts of airtime by all the mainstream media. In my personal opinion, if it was a black officer and a black gentleman, it doesn't get shown. If it's a white officer and a white gentleman, I don't think we even hear about these people, to be perfectly honest with you. And I'm not saying that's right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm simply saying that they are going to take this now and spin this. We know that this is what they do. They are all in deep crap. You guys watch my other videos. Go down below. You'll probably have to search for them. I don't think YouTube's going to put them out for you based on what I'm seeing. They quite literally have shut my channel off. But I just believe with all of my heart that this is a propaganda push again. This is divide people. This is divide whites against blacks again, which we do not need, and it is not warranted. I believe that. But that's what they are going to do. They need us divided right now because we're starting to unite. They're scared of us. They can see that people are waking up. They know more and more people think like me, talk like me, make videos like me, and more people watch them like you. So they've got to go back to their proven and just honestly played out tactics of identity politics. Make whites hate blacks, make police hate, or make people hate police, cause riots, cause problems. We've seen this a million times. And we knew this was coming. The virus event's going away, right? We've got that thing licked and they know it. It's a flu. It was a man-made flu. We now know it basically attaches to humans only. It's very contagious. There are labs coming out and saying that it for sure was man-made. I'm not saying that it was or wasn't because I have not researched it. Do your own research. But they're losing control of that one, and now they need the news cycle on something else. Cue George Floyd's story. A black gentleman murdered by a white officer. I don't know what this white officer was thinking. This police officer, again, I'm going to leave color out of it now because I think it's stupid. It makes no difference. This is one man killing another man. The color is only going to matter because of the way the news is going to be spinning this, and we know why. The people that are rioting because of all the things that are happening, this is in no way, shape, or form productive, justified. You people are quite literally the scum of the earth. I do not hesitate to say that. In everything that's happening during a pandemic, whatever you want to call it, businesses are already struggling. People are struggling. And you're going to try and argue that it was justified and you did that for George. You were out stealing and destroying businesses that are barely keeping their doors open right now. And again, credit to Dan Bongino for making this point today too, because this one hit home for me. People are barely getting by and you're out destroying businesses. A Wendy's, an AutoZone, and a Target, I believe it was. You people are the problem. You are no better than you are no better than the officer who took George Floyd's life. And as a matter of fact, whether you see it or not, you are part of that same machine and part of that same problem. To all of you, you should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves. And it is pathetic that you guys are doing what you're doing. Absolutely pathetic. I think I got all my notes. Wow, I did good. I think we're good. We're only at 12 minutes. I know videos got to be a little longer than 12, so bear with me for one more thing. I want to nail one more thing down because I'm starting to see a little bit of this on my end here on YouTube. Yesterday's video was on, by my estimation, by YouTube's analytics, by everything that I judge or they judge a video by, according to what I understand, yesterday's video should have been amazing. And not only that, I posted that video right after the news conference where it happened, so it was kind of like breaking news. Video should have been phenomenal. I went backwards in subscribers yesterday, and it was, for me, recently, one of my worst videos. The censorship in this country is blatantly apparent. I've got plenty of people in the comments. You guys go search them yourself. Don't take my word for it. Telling me that they're trying to leave comments and they're not working, or they're having to go and like search pages of RedRacer video and then go pages down to even find my videos or channels now. People have told me they're being unsubscribed. I used to, in full disclosure, I used to think those people kind of made that stuff up just to make it sound worse than it really was. The censorship, make it sound like it was worse than it was. I fully believe it now. I'm a believer, and I feel stupid for having ever questioned those people because I'm watching it happen real time on my channel. Brings me to my next point that we are going to cover. I had a question mark next to it. We're getting into it. By the time I post this video and this comes up, all this will probably have changed and we'll know more. But you guys have probably heard that Trump's going to sign an executive order. He's going after Twitter. Twitter done messed up. Going after Trump and fact-checking Trump on Twitter with CNN articles nonetheless. I don't know if you guys saw that. They fact-checked Trump, what he said. They fact-checked it. And then they referenced CNN articles to fact check him. Could not be, I literally could not make up a more pathetic story. But they messed up. And I'm going to really briefly tell you guys why. Twitter is a public forum. They're a platform. They are not a publisher. And they enjoy things because of that. They get exclusions. They get to say things and do things. And there's tax breaks. And there's a whole bunch of other things that I probably don't understand. But they are not a platform. They are a publisher. They have made themselves publishers for a long time. So is Facebook. YouTube's doing the same thing by silencing people like me. But he signed an executive order where basically he's going to be able to lay the hammer to these people and he's going to go after them. I think some of them are just going to disappear. I think he's going to take them over and make them public utilities. And in some of my other videos, we've covered this. But pay attention to what's going to happen to Twitter, because Twitter fighting Trump or fact-checking Trump is going to end up being a big thing. So watch what happens there. Guys, that's it. I'm going to leave this one. We're going to stop at about 15 minutes. Don't leave me just yet. I want to say one more thing. I said it before and I will say it again. I do believe I am being shadow banned or whatever it is called. I might be wrong. maybe by chance my last video just happened to be my worst video that I've made in a month, and it got less traction, and I somehow lost a bunch of subscribers because of it. Oddly enough though, the comments in that video are all very, very positive. My like ratio is at like 98, 99%. The comments are way high for the amount of views that I have, and the likes are very low. Dislikes are very low. There's not any measurable where I can see their justification for anything that happened with that. Please hit the like button. Please go leave a comment. Share this if you would. Come back for the next one too. Subscribe, hit the bell. Make sure you hit all next to notifications. And I hope I see you guys in the next one. Thank you. God bless America. Stay strong, everybody. Where we go one, we go all. And nothing can stop what's coming. We are the Great Awakening. Thank you for being here. Jared RedRacer video.